Can't stop thinking? Use this Zen deep sleep meditation to let go. Begin by gently closing your eyes. Let your hands rest beside you, soft and unguarded. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and exhale through your mouth, long and easy. Once more, inhale, exhale. With each breath, feel your body settling, like a stone finding rest at the bottom of a still pond. In tonight's journey, before we begin, a gentle note: this isn't just a video, it's a space. A quiet space where you are allowed to pause, to breathe, to let go. There will be moments of silence woven into this journey. No voice, no words, only soft music and your breath. These are not empty spaces. They are part of the meditation. Moments for your mind to rest, for your heart to soften. Let them hold you, not rush you. And as we near the end, you'll notice the sound gently fading, easing you into deep sleep. Without effort, if you are still here, fully present until the last breath of this journey, you'll receive a small gift, a simple bedtime practice. Not just to help you sleep, but to slowly, gently, transform how you live. Let us begin now, together. In Gentle 1. Why the mind won't stop, the hidden weight you carry. It begins like every other night. You lie in bed, the lights are off, the room is quiet, but inside your head, the thoughts don't stop. They circle, they loop, they echo. You replay conversations from earlier, worry about tomorrow's tasks, revisit past mistakes, and imagine future disasters. The body lies still, but the mind is pacing. If this feels familiar, you are not alone. Millions of people in our modern world struggle with overthinking at night, especially when everything else has gone silent. But Zen teaches us that the noise doesn't come from the world, it comes from what we haven't released. Deep sleep isn't just a physical experience, it's a spiritual surrender. Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "We are not our thoughts. We are the awareness of our thoughts." This single insight invites us to step back from the current of thinking and see it for what it is, a stream. Not a prison, but too often, we get swept away. We mistake every thought for truth, every worry for something we must act upon. And so, as our bodies crave rest, our minds tighten their grip on control. In Zen, this is described as attachment, the clinging to ideas, expectations, and fears. It is this grasping that keeps us awake. Imagine a cup filled to the brim, not with tea, but with thought. There is no space for peace, no room for breath. Zen invites us to empty that cup, not by force, not by resisting the thoughts, but simply by watching them come and go. As clouds pass across the sky, sleep doesn't require a clear sky, only that we stop chasing the clouds. According to the National Institutes of Health, more than 30% of adults in the United States report experiencing some form of insomnia, with racing thoughts cited as one of the most common causes. Yet what if the real issue is not the thoughts themselves, but the meaning we give them? The need to solve, to predict, to plan, even in the sacred hours of rest? This mental tension becomes physical tension, and soon the pillow feels hard, the room too warm, the night endless. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from craving and aversion, from our inability to be with things as they are. We want answers, we want control, we want peace, but we chase it like a goal, instead of allowing it to unfold. Deep sleep, then, becomes not something we achieve, but something we return to when we stop resisting what is. In our modern lives, success is often defined by activity, by doing, by productivity. But Zen reminds us that rest is not a reward for finishing everything. Rest is a right. It is the breath that connects us to life itself. To lie down and let go is not weakness, it is wisdom. The wisdom of recognizing that sleep is not something to conquer, but something to surrender into. Zen doesn't promise to erase your thoughts. It invites you into a new relationship with them, to see them, to thank them, and to gently set them down for the night. So if you find yourself wide awake again, tangled in thoughts you cannot quiet, remember this: you are not failing. You are being called to soften, to slow, to release. This is where your deep sleep journey truly begins, not by fighting the mind, but by learning how to listen to it without obeying it. You can begin tonight. Breathe, notice, let go, and let the silence of the night become your teacher. In that silence, your soul remembers what your mind forgot: that it is safe to rest, that it is enough to be, and that true rest is not the absence of thought, but the presence of peace. 2. Zen understands the mind, a mirror, not a master. To understand why your thoughts feel so loud at night, we must first understand how Zen sees the mind, not as a master to obey, but as a mirror that reflects everything we've absorbed. In Zen philosophy, the mind is likened to a calm lake. When undisturbed, it reflects the moon clearly. But when stirred by wind, our worries, judgments, plans, it becomes rippled, chaotic. What we see is no longer the truth, but distortion. Deep sleep, then, is the lake returning to stillness, not by force, but by natural quieting. Zen master Shunryu Suzuki once said, "The best way to control your mind is to let it go." This paradox holds great power. We often try to dominate the mind, to push away the thoughts we don't want, but in doing so, we create resistance, and resistance is noise. Zen instead invites us to become the silent witness, to sit on the shore and watch the waves roll in without jumping into the water. The more we observe, the more space we create between us and the thoughts. In that space, peace enters. In cognitive science, this is sometimes called metacognitive awareness, the ability to observe your thoughts as events in the mind, not facts. Modern psychology now echoes what Zen has long taught, that freedom begins not in fixing every thought, but in relating to them differently. Just because your mind says, "I'll never sleep tonight," doesn't mean it's true. Just because a past memory arises doesn't mean it deserves your full attention at 2 a.m. Noticing this distinction is the beginning of mental freedom and of deep sleep. Let us return to the metaphor of the sky. Zen teaches that our mind is not the clouds, but the vast blue above. Thoughts may come and go, but they don't stain the sky. The sky doesn't resist them, it welcomes them and lets them pass. So too must we welcome the presence of thought without giving it the power to rule the night. In doing so, we make space for the breath, for the body to soften, for the nervous system to settle. We prepare the soil for deep sleep not by clearing the garden, but by allowing nature to find its balance. This is not something we do once. It is a practice. Each night, a gentle bow to your own humanity, a recognition that the mind was busy because it cares, but also that it's safe now to rest, that nothing more needs solving tonight. that the wisest thing to do may be nothing at all. And so, as you rest your head again, try not to silence the mind. Just turn toward it with compassion and say, "You've done enough. Thank you. Let's rest now." In this space, the Zen path to deep sleep opens, not as escape, but as a return to the peace that was always available beneath the noise. A return to the quiet within you, waiting for permission to unfold. Three, what you're holding onto, and why it keeps you awake. Some nights, it's not the noise in your mind that keeps you awake, but the weight it carries. We often think we can't sleep because of too many thoughts, but more often it's because of one thought that refuses to be released. A regret, an unresolved conversation, a hope that quietly turned into disappointment. Zen doesn't ask you to deny these emotions. It invites you to face them with stillness and compassion. There's a well-known Zen parable about two monks traveling together. As they crossed a muddy river, they came across a young woman unable to pass. One of the monks picked her up and carried her across. Hours later, the other monk said, "You know we're not supposed to touch women. Why did you carry her?" The first monk replied, "I set her down hours ago. Why are you still carrying her?" This story echoes in the chambers of our restless nights. How many things are we still carrying? Conversations, arguments, fears, that should have been set down long ago? Zen invites us to see that we are not only thinking, we are holding on to the need to be right, to be understood, to be in control. These are all subtle acts of resistance. And resistance is the enemy of rest. In this way, deep sleep becomes a form of spiritual release. Not forgetting, but loosening the grip. Spiritual teacher Ram Dass once said, "If you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family." He wasn't joking. The deepest disturbances often arise not from world events, but from emotional entanglements, old wounds, unmet expectations, the echo of a parent's voice. These wounds lodge themselves in the body, the breath, and yes, the sleep. Zen invites us not to analyze these stories at midnight, but to bow to their presence and offer them the one thing they've never had: rest. Research from Harvard Medical School has shown that emotional repression is linked to chronic insomnia. What we push down doesn't disappear, it waits. And it often waits until nightfall, when there's finally silence. But silence doesn't have to be confrontation. It can be compassion. In Zen, silence is not the absence of noise, but the presence of full awareness. When we allow what's unspoken to simply be seen, without judgment, we begin to soften. You don't have to fix your past tonight. You don't need to rewrite the story. Just recognize what's still sitting beside you on the bed, what you've carried into this night, and with breath, begin to let it go. You might say to yourself, "This doesn't need to be solved right now." It just needs to be held in kindness. This is not weakness. It is profound strength. The courage to rest, even when life feels unfinished. The wisdom to trust that you can return to your healing again tomorrow. For tonight, your only task is to soften the grip. Let deep sleep carry what you no longer can. Let the darkness be your blanket, the breath your release, and the moment your refuge. And in that surrender, you may find not just rest, but peace. Sometimes, what you're holding isn't even yours. You carry the expectations of others, the weight of ancestral pain, or silent beliefs passed down like invisible heirlooms. I must always be strong. I can't rest until everything is done. My worth depends on how much I give. These are not just thoughts, they are internalized contracts, unseen, but deeply felt, and the body remembers them, especially when the lights go out and the day finally quiets. Zen offers a gentle rebellion. You don't have to carry what was never truly yours. At night, many of us try to fall asleep by thinking our way out of thinking. But thought cannot undo thought. What's needed is not a new idea, but a new posture of being. The posture of surrender. Imagine holding a heavy bowl filled with water. The more tightly you grip it, the more your hands tremble. Eventually, the weight spills, but if you set it down gently, the water settles, and so do you. What you've been carrying, the regrets, the pressure, the noise, can be placed down. Maybe not forever, but for tonight. Zen Master Eihei Dogen wrote, "Cast off body and mind." He wasn't speaking of detachment in the cold sense, but of letting go of the false armor we wear to protect ourselves from pain. The armor of busyness, the armor of perfection, the armor of being strong all the time. These keep us awake, not because they're wrong, but because they're heavy, and the night is asking you to be light. In a quiet room, lying still, you may begin to notice subtle fears. Fear of not being enough, fear of being alone, fear of not waking up. These are real, and yet Zen whispers gently, "You are not those fears. You are the one who sees them. You are the sky they pass through. They may visit, but they do not define you." As the night deepens, you can begin to feel the separation between awareness and emotion. The mind may still produce thoughts, but you are no longer inside them. You are watching from the shore, and in that witnessing, the grip loosens. What once felt like a storm now becomes a breeze. Let yourself settle into this insight. You do not need to solve your life tonight. The unfinished business, the untied threads, the unclear conversations, they can wait. What matters now is your breath, your body, your rest. Say to yourself, softly, "I have carried enough. Tonight, I lay it down. And tomorrow, I will rise lighter." This isn't avoidance. This is sacred timing. Zen teaches us that there is a right moment for everything, and that moment for healing is not when the mind is exhausted and the body begs for sleep. It's in stillness, when we listen, not to fix, but to feel. And so, the first true step toward deep sleep is not closing the eyes, but opening the heart, opening to the idea that you are allowed to rest even if nothing is finished. That letting go is not failure, but a form of inner leadership. From this place of honesty and surrender, you are now ready to enter the deeper waters, not to understand more, but to let yourself be carried. The next breath will take you there. Let us begin. 4. Guided Zen practice to let go and rest tonight. Now that we've explored why the mind won't stop and what we're holding onto, let's enter the space where words dissolve into experience. This is the quiet path inward, where Zen is no longer something to understand, but something to feel. Tonight, you are invited to lay down not just your body, but your burdens. Begin by gently closing your eyes. Let your hands rest beside you, soft and unguarded. Breathe in slowly through your nose, and exhale through your mouth, long and easy. Once more, inhale, exhale. With each breath, feel your body settling, like a stone finding rest at the bottom of a still pond. Now, become aware of your thoughts, not to fight them, but to simply notice. They may come fast at first. They may demand your attention. But instead of following them, imagine placing each thought on a leaf. See that leaf float on a stream that flows gently through your awareness. Thought by thought, let them pass. You are not the leaf. You are the water beneath it. Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh taught a beautiful mantra, breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Try that now, silently to yourself. Inhale, I calm my body. Exhale, I smile. This smile is not forced. It is the smile of returning home, of allowing yourself to simply be. Without effort, you are not here to improve, to analyze, to fix. You are here to rest. As you rest deeper, bring to mind one thing you've been holding today. A worry, a name, a decision. Now say silently to it, you may rest now. We'll return to this tomorrow. But tonight, you are free. Feel your breath flow gently in and out. No need to count. No need to control. Let the breath breathe you. Let the weight of your limbs sink into the bed. Let gravity become your teacher, showing you how to let go without resistance. The earth beneath you holds you without condition. There is nothing you need to do to deserve this rest. Allow soft ambient music or a gentle Zen bell to ring in your mind. A single note that echoes through the darkness, guiding you not to awaken, but to arrive fully in the present moment. That note, that stillness, it is the sound of the world exhaling with you. If another thought arises, simply bow to it and let it pass. No judgment, no attachment, just awareness. In this awareness, deep sleep becomes natural, not something you try to reach, but something that arises when effort ends. And now, say to yourself with tenderness, I've done enough for today. It's safe to let go. This moment is enough. Let these words be your lullaby, not from the head, but from the heart. Let the rhythm of your breath be your anchor. Let your breath carry you where thoughts cannot follow. In this stillness, know that you are not alone. Countless others are lying in the dark, also learning to let go. In your surrender, you join the quiet Sangha of all beings resting. That is the beauty of Zen, not isolation, but deep connection through presence. Tonight, let that presence cradle you. Let the silence hold your story. Let the breath carry your body gently into sleep. You don't need to stop thinking. Just stop clinging. You don't need to be perfect. Just present. And in that presence, deep sleep begins. As your breath slows, let the rhythm of this moment anchor you. You are no longer racing toward rest. You are already arriving. With each inhale, welcome a new beginning. With each exhale, release a layer of tension you no longer need to hold. If it helps, place one hand over your heart and the other over your belly. Feel the rise and fall. This is your home. the only place you need to be. Now imagine yourself in a small Zen garden under the night sky. The sand is smooth, the stones are still, the moonlight rests gently on the surface of the water nearby. In this space, nothing needs to be solved, nothing needs to be changed. You are simply a witness, a quiet guest in your own sanctuary of peace. Zen does not teach escape. It teaches embodiment. Right now, allow your body to be exactly as it is. Heavy or light, restless or relaxed. Every sensation is part of the teaching. Can you greet it with curiosity instead of judgment? Say to it, "You are welcome here, even now, especially now." If you feel the mind drifting back into thought, don't push it away. Just return, again and again, to the breath. Each return is a small act of liberation, a reminder that you are not lost. You are practicing, you are deepening, you are softening into the mystery of rest. Let go of the idea that sleep must come quickly or perfectly. Zen teaches us to drop all striving. Sleep is not a reward. It is a birthright. It arrives when we stop insisting. So tonight, insist on nothing, expect nothing, receive everything. Let your surroundings melt away. The bed becomes part of your body. The walls dissolve into the darkness. Even the sounds around you, faint traffic, a creak of the floor, the hum of the night, become part of the larger stillness. You are not separate from this night. You are woven into its silence. Whisper to yourself now, as if speaking to a child you love. You are safe. You are whole. You are loved. Allow these words to settle into your nervous system like warm tea poured into a cold cup. Let them soften the edges of the day. Let them prepare the mind for what it has been waiting for all along, not escape, but return. And now, return to the breath, to the body, to the stillness that has been patiently waiting. Let it hold you, let it rock you, let it carry you gently towards sleep, not as a destination, but as a quiet remembering of who you truly are beneath the noise. You are not your fatigue. You are not your mistakes. You are the awareness that lovingly watches it all. In that awareness, deep sleep is already blooming. 5. Closing the night, a gentle surrender to deep sleep. There comes a moment each night when even the breath becomes soft. The muscles surrender, the thinking slows, and something within you finally says, "Enough." This moment, though quiet, is sacred. It's where the mind no longer needs to lead and the heart begins to guide. In Zen, this is the gateway to deep sleep, not a place you force yourself into, but one you gently fall toward, like a leaf landing on still water. Perhaps you have felt the tug to do more, to scroll, to plan, to worry just a little longer. But tonight, you have chosen differently. You have chosen presence. You have chosen peace. And in this choice, you are practicing one of the highest forms of spiritual discipline, surrendering to what is. Zen doesn't require that you eliminate all suffering or reach enlightenment tonight. It only asks that you meet this moment with honesty and compassion, that you acknowledge your restlessness, your longings, and still offer yourself kindness. As Zen Master Dogen once wrote, "To study the self is to forget the self, and in forgetting, we remember something more enduring, the quiet that has always held us." Now, as your body feels heavier, warmer, and more distant from the day, imagine yourself floating, not escaping, but returning to your center, your breath, your essence. Imagine each exhale as a soft tide drawing you deeper into sleep. No resistance, just trust. Let this final awareness remain as you drift. You are not your thoughts. You are the spaciousness beneath them. You are not your tension. You are the breath that soothes it. You are not separate from peace. You are peace. If sleep doesn't come right away, that's okay. You're still healing, still softening, still learning to let go. Stay here as long as you need, with the breath, with the stillness, with the quiet company of your own presence. And now, let go, fully, deeply, lovingly. The night welcomes you, sleep holds you, and nothing more is required. If you are still here, at the end of this video, here is your reward. Tonight's gentle Zen practice is not meant to remain as just a beautiful moment. It is a doorway, a way of life. So here is your simple gift. Each night before bed, take 3 conscious breaths, not to get somewhere, but to remember where you already are. 1 breath to thank your day. 1 breath to release what you carried, and 1 breath to welcome peace. This is your real practice, turning wisdom into daily life. Regular practice will help you transform your own life for the better. If this video brought you comfort, subscribe to Buddhism in You to continue your journey of healing, peace, and balance. Each night, a new light to guide you home. Thank you for being here, for showing up for your own heart. See you tomorrow night, here.